Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Well, you all can read the subtitles, so let's just jump right into it. Rubber ducks are some of the most popular toys around. They're squeaky, yellow, rubbery. What more could you want? But are they truly safe for us to be playing with? Underneath their adorable exterior are some sinister machinations at work. In the words of the great Arthur Weasley,
what exactly is the function of a rubber duck?
To answer that question, let's start out simple. The most obvious use of a rubber duck is as a bath toy. They're buoyant and versatile, making them great for children to play with while bathing. But you already know this. This is Rubber Ducks 101. Let's actually learn some new stuff about these toys. Rubber ducks have more uses outside of the bathtub. For example, oftentimes programmers will have a rubber duck on their desk. Whenever their code doesn't work as desired, they'll explain how the code is supposed to work to the rubber duck line by line. This is a very effective way to find mistakes, and while they're explaining it, they can more easily find typos and logical errors than if they were to just skim through it instead. This process is known as rubber duck debugging, and often leads to a certain situation: an angry programmer and a light, easily held rubber duck. Naturally, management gets tired of angry programmers throwing rubber ducks everywhere in fits of rage, and many places are starting to phase out the rubber duck protocol in favor of objects that are less easily defenestrated. I'm guessing that they also get pretty mad when someone goes up to the rubber duck bin and tries to do something like this. Rubber ducks are being used to track ocean currents too. Some researchers have taken the concept to heart that it's not littering if you track it, often releasing hundreds of drift bottles into the ocean at a time with only a 2% recovery rate, leaving the vast majority out at sea. But as much as scientists like littering, they like not having to do work even more. When a Chinese shipment of Friendly Floaties toys fell off of a cargo boat and released 29,000 floating rubber animals, oceanographers Curtis Abismeyer and James Ingram took the opportunity to test their current ocean current model and petitioned beachcombers, coastal workers, and beachfront property owners to locate the hundreds of toys found in Alaska, Washington, Japan, and various other locations correctly predicted by the model, even offering a $100 reward for anyone who finds them. So now that we've exhausted how people use rubber ducks in the modern age and found nothing sinister, we should investigate the history of rubber ducks to find some ulterior motive. The first rubber ducks were made in the late 19th century when rubber started being largely manufactured. These first ducks were intended as chew toys, though, and had no ability to float. The first buoyant ducks that we would recognize were brought about in the 1940s by Peter Ganin, a Russian-American sculptor. That's right, he's Russian and American, two parts of the podcast trifecta. Now we're getting somewhere. Peter sculpted an uncapsizable duck and patented the design, which later sold over 50 million ducks. Being both American and Russian during the Cold War made it difficult for Peter to choose a side, let alone produce all those ducks. He eventually sided with the Americans, but did so in a way that would hurt the Soviets as much as possible. He elected to have his ducks produced in Russia. America has of course censored this part of history, and most accounts will put his factory elsewhere in order to distance the US government from the event. By having Russia produce the ducks, they had to buy tons of rubber for the manufacturing process. But because nobody in Soviet Russia really had any money, the government had to foot the bill. The huge costs of rubber took a large toll of their budget, nearly bankrupting the country, and these rubber ducks are now considered one of the primary factors in the Soviets' downfall. So why didn't they see this coming? Didn't they have economists that could predict the cost of all those ducks? Well, they did, but Joseph Stalin himself loved the rubber ducks so much, he thought that manufacturing them in Russia would bring Russia global prestige and popularity at a time when allies were hard to come by and many countries were neutral. Of course, we all know what happened next, and down came the Soviet Union, rubber ducks and all. Let's now return to the central question of this episode. What exactly is the purpose of a rubber duck? The purposes of rubber ducks are many. A bath toy, a debugging tool, an oceanography aid, a chew toy, and a dictatorship removal method. If a small and simple rubber duck has this much potential, imagine what kind of potential someone like you has. That's about it. Thanks for watching.